Most of y'all know me as Brickzilla. My real name is Googleable, Brian Pleasant. And most of y'all don't know the jail stories. I only started getting money industry-wise like 2019. But before that, it was a hard knock road. But I traveled hard, and it made me who I am right now. I don't regret nothing. Wouldn't go through it again. But there's nothing I regret. I'm sitting here thinking, should I tell you a jail story or the story that's on my mind right now? Something that happened to me in the Bronx. That's what I feel in my heart. I'm gonna call this one Home Invasion by Those That Live With You. I came home from Cumberland, Maryland jail, which was a state/federal detention. I was there on a charge that you could probably look up to see. This was around the year 2003. I stayed in that facility from 2003 to 2008. Oh man, there's so much time. This story starts when I got out of not federal prison, but when I got out of state prison in Collins. I was in Collins for 6 years. I had to do a 2 to 4 with a 3 to 6 ran concurrent. Off it, I pulled 6 years. Last year I could have went on. There was a year I could have went on parole. I was like, nah, just you know what I'm saying, max me out. But they didn't want to max me out, you know. I ran on parole anyway. That's a different story. But when I came home in 2012, I was in this program called Ready, Willing, and Able in Harlem, right across the street from the Low Grounds, 155th. And the program helped you get a crib. So I had got me a crib on Castle Hill Avenue between Starling and right across from Ortiz Funeral Home, right? In the Bronx. 6 train station was right up there. So I had this little AM New York job. You know, AM New York, get your AM New York newspaper. I was down there by Wall Street, you know, handing out these AM New York newspapers. Had a real manager, always had a problem and shit. And one day I just went in on it and quit the job and all that. And people called me back, did I want the job back? Because they knew that, you know, she was causing problems. Everybody was talking about how she was acting and things, and she had got fired herself. But it's like, nah, because at that time I was, even though I had did all that time, I was still in the streets. So I took that check, flipped it, and got some sour. Now, meanwhile, I'm staying in Castle Hill Avenue and shit, and at that time, you know, I'm rolling 30s. Hellbound from Mitchell Projects. My big homie, $500,000. Boom. So I got the crib. One time I'm running to $500,000, you know what I'm saying? See, New York, you run into somebody, you got to get in touch with them then, because you know it might not happen again. You can live right next door to somebody and not see them ever, if your times don't coincide, or if you're not paying attention. So seen him one time, we chopped it up, got his number, had a little flip phone back then and shit. And, you know, I never got in touch with him. But anyway, I'm working at the thing, so I see some homies come by. I say, you Crip? They like, yeah, They 60s, we 30s. Okay. Boom. Long story short on that part, I invited the dude to have a place to stay. You know, after that, the homies came over and, you know, let some of the homies stay. But you know how you are who you are and you do what you do, but it's not balling to you. It's not really rocking out. It ain't really where you want it to be. It ain't where you can just really swag out and take a walk with your full bop, because you ain't all the way up like you want to be. But to somebody else, look like you're doing it. At that time, I was popping Mega E. I'm like, getting twisted. Quadruple stack Supermans. I'm flying. I used to be so high I couldn't even get out the crib. Then I used to be so high I had to take cabs everywhere. Then I said, I got it. I can get on a train now. You know? So I got the homie staying up with his 60s homies. His name was Chef Low. Other niggas Slam and all that. Yeah, I'm saying names because my hands working. Y'all jump me. Fuck niggas. So, you know. Get a knock on my room door. Y'all. Somebody downstairs wants some Dawo. Yo, why they ain't call my phone? Alright, I'm coming. I gets out in my living room and I'm under the chandelier and I said, oh, I smelt it. Dromedails, I smelt that. I slept. I smelt, I slipped. And I just heard. And I was getting hit from the back with a bat. Dude swung as hard as he could. I instantly went out and I saw bright lights in my head. I must have been fighting. But all of a sudden, the movie 300 runs into my head. The part about they had to fight in that little skinny alleyway so they could funnel the people in and lessen numbers of who they was having war with. So the apartment that I had, the kitchen was kind of skinny. You know, it was wide enough, but like two people really couldn't walk down. You know what I'm saying? And then there was at the end of the kitchen, stove here, sink here, cabinets and all that. There's a window, second story. A second story window. So I run into the kitchen and I'm up now. And I look and everything is in slow motion. Like I could hear everything, I could smell everything, and everything went slow. So I'm like this. Boom! I look, the dude, because he can't swing this way and this way, he decided to come up and he was parting his legs and hit me in the back of my head. And boom! I went down again. And little nigga, his voice just got me so irked because I was like, no, I'll wreck your motherfucking ass for Delils. Lay down, lay down, lay down. And I'm like, oh no, if I lay down, they're gonna kill me. I got up. The shrimp came. Caught one of the dudes in the headlock. Bang! Caught me again in the front. You know, you probably can't see that, but it goes all the way to the back. Dope waves covering up, had my whole head cracked open. My do-rag is feeling like a fishbowl on my head because all the blood just trapped up in it, how tight I had it. So the movie Jason Bourne, Bourne Identity come into my mind. So I had grabbed dude like this, I got him in the yoke, I'm trying to choke him out, but I'm more or less trying to block that bat that's coming to my head because I feel that it's not too many more this motherfucker could take. 2 weeks before that, I had a little homie named A, ended up running off with my weed and stuff. He was from Parkchester. He was one of my homies. I loped him in with the hands, you know. And we had ended up breaking that window, and I was always supposed to get a lock on it because, you know, in the Bronx, they got the windows with the latch and all of that. So after a while, he was like, yo, go look for his gun. We ain't getting him down. He ain't going down. So I'm in the kitchen by myself like this. Window just came right out. This is when I knew. This is when I knew that I was highly favored. This is when I knew that I had heavenly intervention on my side. The coolness of the air when it hit me made me take my do-rag off. And when I did, I couldn't see nothing. I ran from my last vision that I caught before the blood blinded me. I ran to the end. on the second story fire escape and jumped off. Eyes full with blood, can't see nothing. Something I could see an angel's wing just wrap around my back and folded me around and lifted my hand, and I caught the ladder. I caught the ladder on the fire escape second store, and I went down like this. The fight was still in me. I wanted to wreck niggas. They in my house. It's my first place. I used to be homeless. Yeah! 85%. 75%, I could feel my battery going down. There's too many niggas up there and they got bats, and I'm thinking this is a wide area. They could swing hard and don't have to just come vertical. There was like this fence that was kind of loose, kind of broken. It was warped in the middle, but it was shaky. And somehow I was able to jump down on it and come over, and I got caught on the fence like this. And I'm hanging on the fence. Boom! Ha! Boom! Dropped on the ground. By that time, my whole white t-shirt was red with blood. You would have thought it was a red t-shirt. Then there was another fence about this high. You know, the little wooden joints. I jumped over the fence. Boom! Hit the ground. Now, I'm in the back of this, I think it was called Sabaro's. A seafood, some kind of seafood place that was there on St. Paul or Starling, one of them blocks. It was people from the Bronx know what I'm talking about. I'm in the back of the restaurant. You know how they got the car seats from the truck out there? And I'm like this to the Mexican kids. Mexican dudes is working in there. I'm like, yo, call me a fucking ambulance. What you just looking at me for? They call the ambulance. I look up. And from where I'm sitting, I can see the niggas in my room tossing shit around looking for the ratchet ills. They never found it, though. I get to the hospital. Regular business. They started stapling my head up. Maybe I could show you the scar. Maybe I could show you the scar if you can see it. I don't know if you can really see the scar, but it was like, it's this long. Right here to here, my head was bust open. I felt like one of them soldiers coming home like with an injury and they had their head taped up and the whole portion of my head right here was dented in. I was like, oh. At that time I was staying in Red Hook Projects in Peyton Place. Y'all from Brooklyn know what I'm talking about. In Red Hook Projects, they had Peyton Place, Paradise, and the 6 and 7 or 7-8 side or something like that. But you know what? You know what? I lived in almost every project in Brooklyn. Gowanus, Red Hook. We just starting down there, man. Tilden. There was one projects I used to go through. They had an actual gate, a turnstile gate that you had to go through one way in, one way out. So bring it back to where I was at. I almost went to another part of it. Regular day, regular business. They stapling my head up. And when they took this part, I don't know if you can see it. It's been some years, but you know I had got this all cracked up in there. They sewed it up. So I'm staying in Red Hook Projects. So just so had happened, staying with this shorty over in Red Hook Projects, right? I was about to say the person's name. Staying over in Red Hook Projects, right? So, I'm gonna say the name. Nah, I ain't gonna say the name. I'm staying in Red Hook Projects with this girl that used to go with me when I was in the Bronx. You know, she seen how I was moving. I had my thing going on. So, I called her from the hospital. They stapling me up, sewing me up. Just regular day, regular business. Yeah, what you gonna go and get? Yeah, man, I want that, give me a chopped cheese, a turkey melt, a tuna melt and all that. They discussing what they gonna get to eat. you know, for dinner, for breakfast or whatever, because it was like late that night. It's 12:12 now. That's how true it is. It was late that night. I don't remember, but you know, they talking about what they're going to go eat. While my head is getting sick. That's when I was like, you know what? Ain't nobody coming to get you. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Ain't nobody coming to help you. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing, son. Don't let it is. I'm in Red Hood Projects. It just so happened Hurricane Sandy had just happened. I'm smoking a blunt with my girl that I'm with at certain time. At that time, and we looking out the window and standing in the bathtub, looking out the window at the water just rising. I'm high favored. National Guard would come out there and give off MRI mills because the store, everything was flooded. Them MRI mills was full of the most high-powered packed vitamins that I needed. The regular food that was there at that local store by Red Hook. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You go in that store, meat different, fruit different, but it's closer and cheaper. You go across under the bridge over there, you know what I'm saying, away from the P's and go to that Pathmark. I forgot the name of the store, but you know, food better, food all bright and so that food wasn't gonna do nothing for me. I was eating high vitamin army food for people that's out in the field to protect the country. So it was what I needed, it was on time. And as I look back at that, there was something that helped me galvanize to do everything, because I said, no matter what had happened, when it had happened, when it did, everything I needed to recover properly was on deck. Rumble in the Bronx. That's the name of that story. And there'll be another one, jail stories. I just got stories of my life that are fantastic. One of them that I have to get up my heart. I have to get up my gumption, just to tell it, because nobody would ever believe it. But when I do tell it to you, you will believe it. Because every one of us are gods, and we got that sensor in us that just ticks when somebody telling you a lie. And you know everything I said was true, and it resonates. This Brickzilla, stories of my life. Rumble in the Bronx, part 1.